My favorite fruitcake. Bang! The sound of a gunshot awakes me from my early morning sleep. I jump out of my bed and run to the hallway to see what is going on. There I find my mother, standing in the doorway, feet slightly spread, her arms still stretched out in front of her, with the starting gun still in her hands. She turns, looks at me and says, "I was aiming for the orange tree. I never thought this thing would actually work." Well, first of all, it's a starting gun. There's no point in aiming at anything. It only makes noise. And secondly, it clearly still works. Our poor dog was still shivering somewhere underneath a piece of furniture. That's the same dog my mom allowed to drink out of the toilet bowl. She argued that it was basically the same water as the water that comes out of the tap. That's not what TV has told me. But I guess if she was okay with it, it couldn't be that bad. I don't know how old I was when I first started questioning if my mom was different than my friends' moms. But at some point, I just started asking myself, I wonder if so-and-so's mom also takes off her pants as soon as she walks in the door. Or, I wonder if so-and-so's mom also wants to go party more than her daughter does, and gets all disappointed when her daughter doesn't want to go. My mom's a cool mom. Way cooler than any of my friends' moms. Way cooler than me, to be honest. We look alike, but we're very different. She's spontaneous, funny, outgoing, popular, and a bit of a party animal at times. I, on the other hand, think things through before making decisions. I wouldn't say that I'm boring, but I'm definitely a bit of an introvert. Ironically, many of my mom's character traits would better fit the daughter role, and many of mine would better fit that of the parents. I often joke that I am single with parents, as opposed to married with children. My mom's spontaneous, c'est la vie, you only live once attitude has led us to some interesting situations. When we were living in Indonesia, it was my mom who decided that, just like the locals, we were to drive around on mopeds. Mopeds that go up to 40 miles an hour, by the way. It had taken me years just to master how to ride a bicycle, but I was willing to give it a try. We rode a couple of laps around a soccer field and felt ready to throw ourselves in the crazy mess called Southeast Asian traffic. I would often ride on the back of my mom's moped, occasionally closing my eyes at the lack of control as other mopeds and cars zoomed around us, often missing us by less than an inch. I don't know how we made it as long as we did without getting into an accident. But one day, our lucky streak was over. We jumped on the moped to go pick up some lunch. My mom at the wheel, me on the back. We were driving down a major road when out of nowhere a heavy motorbike T-boned us. We hit the hot asphalt, and suddenly our motorbike adventures were over. Blood was gushing down my mom's face, and when I finally had the courage to look down, I found a bone sticking out of my leg. That night, for the second time in our lives, we shared a hospital room. Circumstances just weren't as joyful as back in 1991. Another time, when we were on vacation in the south of Spain, when my mom and I decided to go on a hike from our hotel, which was located at the top of the hill, to the center of town down in the valley. After about half an hour of walking in the burning sun, it became clear that we had underestimated the distance. We could have called a taxi. That would have probably been the responsible thing to do. The responsible thing that most moms would do. But no, my mom decided we should hitchhike. Once again, I was pretty sure that TV had taught me that a woman and a child hitchhiking in a foreign country where neither really speaks the language was a big no-no. But my mom seemed to think that everything would be all right. So my 10-year-old self tried not to worry too much. Despite being on a remote road, we were lucky enough to have someone stop for us rather quickly. A truck driver pulled over and offered us a ride. I wasn't feeling great about this, and I could tell that my mom wasn't feeling too confident about it either. But we climbed into the cabin, and the driver took off. It was a bit of an awkward, silent ride, with all three of us sitting in the front cabin, and with me every so often giving my mom the "how on earth did we end up here" look. But we made it to our destination without any troubles. We did, however, decide to take a taxi back to the hotel. I have countless stories of my crazy cool mom leading us into situations that I would never get into by myself. Some ended better than others, but all created memories and experiences. So even though our adventures don't always end good, and I often feel like I need to be the responsible one between the two of us, I am extremely grateful for my beautiful fruitcake of a mom, because without her, I would never have hitchhiked, driven a motorbike, gone skinny dipping, and so many other things. Thank you.